Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and today we're here with ADHD career coach Wilma Fellman. Wilma, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now Wilma, you do a lot of talking and working with those with ADHD on finding a job, and what is the best way to find a job?
The best way to find a job is always going to be to know somebody.
To know somebody.
Yes, and we can't know the whole world, so the next best way is to network.
To network. So that sounds easy, and everybody just jumps to the resume and stuff like that. Seems to me that if they had an idea what that might look like, it would be easy for them. What do you think?
I think that's absolutely right.
So I'm going to spring one on you, okay?
Okay.
So a lot of times when I'm working with people, that notion of sitting down and try to define like who you are and what you do, because who you are and what you do are completely different. Like you're not a lawyer, that's what you do. Who you are is the individual. And the notion is to call up people, not just on the phone, but actually make an appointment, go to their office if you can, and say, "Hi, I'm Jeff Copper. I'm really a nice guy. I'm pleasurable. I'm kind, but I like to help people get ahas."
Yes.
And then say, "Do you know of anybody who could take advantage of something like that as a means to make it aware of what's going on, not put pressure on them because you're really looking for that networking." Thoughts on that?
I spoke with a woman just recently who graduated from a university and just instinctively went to that university's alumni association list.
Wow.
And picked out 11 people that just sort of random, worked for different companies. She thought maybe she would be okay there. And she did exactly what you're talking about. She said, in essence, I just graduated from the University of Michigan with a degree in business. I have these skills, those strengths, and I would love to come in and meet with you and give you my resume. And if you have any suggestions or information or know of people who might be looking for someone with my skills, then we can just go from there.
Wow.
I know.
What a great, I never really thought about something like that, but by going back to a school, there's a certain amount of camaraderie as a result of that school, particularly if they're in business. So you got their intention, and people like to talk about themselves and give it, particularly because you're not asking for the job, but you're getting some great advice and maybe some really good contacts.
Yes, that was the point. And people will make appointments to talk with you if it's a win-win situation. And you're right, people do like to talk about it. Plus, an alumni association inherently tries to or professes to help out their own.
Yep. And so, if you've watched many editions of Attention Talk Video, I like to show obvious solutions that are not so obvious. And this is one of those that's blatantly obvious, but I don't think when people think of networking, they would have thought of something like that. And it's a really clever idea, and it gets you kind of in the door. And the other thing, too, it gets you practicing about talking about what's going for an interview. Would you agree?
Yes. For a much younger person, another idea that we've used in the past is to have them go to a Better Business Bureau meeting or any town meeting where there's a lot of people and essentially do the same thing, have a resume available, a business card available, talk with people, tell them what you're looking for, what you're even thinking of looking for. It should be a conversation, not a performance.
And I think one of the keys is you're not actually trying to ask anybody for a job or put pressure on a job. You're trying to ask where could you go or where would they recommend, which is the networking side. And there's nothing more powerful than walking up to somebody and saying, you know, Joe, I talked to him the other day, we talked about my skill set, and he thought that you might find what I do of benefit or useful. And you've got an instant entree because the person referred you.
Yes, and they could pass the information along to 5 friends that they know. And that's what networking means. That's what networking means. That's what it looks like. And please don't skip that step because it's probably one of the most powerful parts. Don't just skip to the resume part. Give this some consideration. Yes. Wilma, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you. It's a pleasure.